Hi, and welcome back to Vinyl Collection. This episode is featuring Neil Young's After the Gold Rush. This particular album has various hits. It's got After the Gold Rush, Cripple Creek Ferry, and let's not forget Old Lonesome Me, which was originally done by Don Gibson, but we'll get to that in a moment. If you open up the inside cover, you'll notice that you got guitars here, you've got Neil laying on the couch, there's other guitars, it's possibly in a studio, and then there's a female that's in the background. Maybe Neil is pondering life, pondering things. Maybe he just got finished recording some songs, or maybe he just wrapped up the album. I will say that out of all these songs, I think my favorite is Oh Lonesome Me. And the reason that is my favorite song on here is because it's very raw, slow pace, and it's very emotional. It's about a guy that takes a chance on love and ends up in heartbreak. With the song, it kind of starts out where the author is saying, hey, I could have went out with friends, I could have had fun, but I stayed in, I had none. And it talks about the girl that he was pursuing and how she went to the bar and she used her charm on the guys, And it also, kind of gives it a little bit of advice. It says, well, you may want to move on, from things, just forget about the past. But at the same time, the author kind of says, hey, if this girl was to come back in open arms, I will accept her, I'll bring her back, I will get back with this girl, and it's not something that happens in today's generation where somebody will easily take somebody else back. But back then, that was a big thing. If it didn't work out and for some reason they stumbled upon each other, it could work. It could be where the two people can get back together. Anyways, I love this album. I know that when it first came out, Rolling Stones magazine, they took a listen at it and they hated it. They didn't like it. Maybe they didn't understand the album as a whole. Neil, he has kind of a high-pitched voice, so maybe it could have been because of that. But just looking past the voice, if you listen to the lyrics and what the messages have across each song, you can really enjoy Neil's music. I've listened to all kind of albums of his. I went through a whole phase for a whole week listening to different albums. After Gold Rush, Harvest, After the Harvest, and I didn't even think that I would be able to get into Neil Young, but what got me onto listening to Neil was his song Old Man Look at My Life, but that one's on the Harvest album. It would play all the time at work, and I'd say, man, who is this guy? Who is singing this song? And I looked it up on my phone, and sure enough, it was Neil. So I went through a whole phase for a whole week just listening to Neil Young albums. And here we are today where I can actually show you that I went out and I bought After the Gold Rush. So I definitely recommend that you check out After the Gold Rush, or at least check out his other albums, because they're fantastic. He's a guy that makes folk music. He used to be in a band, or probably in various bands. I know, like Crosby, Still, Nash, and Young. He was in that particular band, so I'd say definitely check this out.